Welcome back. Now I'm going to try and cover from Brisbane to Sydney. Another very interesting place for me. I left Brisbane and went down inside Stradbroke Island, down through the Channel. A lovely trip down through there to the Gold Coast and spent a couple of days on the Gold Coast, but like I've said to other people, there's enough lunatics there without me staying there. So I went across the Southport Bar and went to Tweed Heads. I went to Tweed Heads specifically because I knew a friend of mine lived there, but I didn't really know where. And his name was Tony Keating. I managed to track him down, and he showed me all over the place. Him and his lovely wife Catherine. I had a really great time with him. It's great to see him again. He used to crayfish with us years ago, 40 odd years ago as it turns out. Reluctantly left Tweed Heads and I headed down to Byron Bay, anchored there, and then I was in the northern rivers of New South Wales. Now the most important thing about the northern rivers of New South Wales is crossing the bars. Now this is when I was talking several episodes ago about timing when you leave to reach the bar an hour before high tide and checking the swell. So I went down to the Clarence River and never been there before, went into Iluka first and anchored 100 yards away from a fantastic pub, and I almost stayed there. And I met some great friends in there, Boots Towner and my friend Brad. I could have stayed there, but I had to keep going. So I left Iluka and I moved down to Camden Haven. It's another lovely little place, a lovely little bar on the river mouth and in the hotel. And there's a lovely RSL there, so I just anchored outside the RSL. There's a wharf there that you can use, but there was boats already there, so I had to wait. And moved my way down to, left there and moved down towards Coffs Harbour, and another lovely anchorage. Moorings right in the harbour, picked up a mooring there, went ashore, had a really good time. Then went down to, just the New South Wales coast surprisingly was fantastic. Went down to Tranquil Bay, went into Port Macquarie, which has got a pretty, seems like a nice bar, but when the current's running out there's a lot of overfalls. But I found moorings right outside Port Macquarie there. Then I went down, probably one of the better places I went was Lake Macquarie, and it wasn't that easy to get into, but what a fantastic place for yachting or boating. A massive lake, about 8 to 10 metres all the way through, with free wharves everywhere, nice anchorages in every place, clubs in every little bay, easy shopping, and if you got sick of it all, you went down south to the National Park, away from everyone. Now, I stayed there a month. My wife went up to Sydney and she came up there too. She said what a lovely place this is. I stayed there a month and I seen a friend of mine called Phil Olsen there, a guy I've got a lot of respect for. I went and visited him, and from then, after a month in there, I went out of the lake and went down the Hawkesbury River. I went all around the Hawkesbury River, up and down every creek, moored, anchored. There was moorings everywhere, into Pittwater, anchored in there, met a friend of mine in there, David Thompson, with a boat called the Takari too. We spent a bit of time together there. Then he took off and I went round to Sydney Harbour, and I spent about a month in Sydney Harbour. I went right up to the Parramatta, not the Parramatta Bridge, but right up the Parramatta River as far as I could go, and Middle Harbour, Manly, all along the anchorage on the west side and the east side, into Rozelle, got fuel and prepared to leave for the south coast of New South Wales. And that trip from Brisbane to Sydney was surprisingly a fantastic place, you can see from the photographs. So that's the end of that segment. Thank you. That's the end of the video. I've tried to do it really quickly because I didn't have a lot of time, but if you need to have a look or good look at it, just subscribe to Kolesnikov Productions and you'll be able to see it all. And it's just a rough guide of, and all my photographs of what I've taken and other people's photographs of where I've been. An interesting journey about how great Australia really is. So thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.